Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Harp from CZT Jan Brandt. I was looking around, looking for some inspiration, and this one popped up, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I have seen this before, and I have not done it, so let's do. All right, starts off with some orbs. One in the center of wherever you want this. Now this, I call these like freestanding. I think that's the term I came up with. Um, because you could put them, and do them small-ish, do them in a number of places. You could have this be the focal point and then add some other things around it. So do it large enough and it can become somewhat of a reticula, although uh, maybe not, just because of the little small spaces. You will see. All right, then from here I'm gonna put five, or excuse me, yeah, five, starting off with an odd number, and you'll see why in a moment. I had to catch myself, like, no, wait a minute. Okay, and these ones, you want them to be not close to this orb, but the second, we're gonna do a second row of orbs that are gonna go out further. So just planning for that is helpful, I find sometimes. All right, so I'm going to place these strategically around. When it's an odd number, I always kind of like, oh, well, and you know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter, right? So I'm like, oh, look at how far apart that is. It doesn't matter. I am just a continual lesson, by the way, in the no mistakes, and and just don't worry about it. So if you're not confident and you're drunk, you come here. I'll make you feel better. Sorry. Oh, and then I crack myself up. All right. All right. Chill, Heather. It's okay. All right. So once you have your orbs, laughter's good. And when one can laugh at oneself, that is just beautiful. All right. So we're going to do an S shape. This is similar to like the Tangle Cadent, but we're not going to go out too far. I think when I was playing and doing my step out, as I was doing it, and I'll tell you, it takes, when you hand do these, it takes a little bit of work, and I didn't want to go back and redo it, but I just took it as a lesson learned in two ways. One, it looks kind of cool, but two, maybe a little bit more not so groovy, not so curvy on these S shapes. So as we do them, we use the takeoff and land concept, which is, I'm tracing around a little bit that orb, coming down, and then I'm going to trace around the bottom orb a little bit. It really helps, gives it some continuity. But my habit from doing like Caden, and it's probably just the way I do things anyway, is like I want to go, you know, go way out on the side of, make a really big S, like an actual S, not just a very tall and skinny S. All right. Then, as I mentioned, we're going to put some more orbs, and these can come out higher, like so, and in between the orbs that we have. And you know what? I don't think it matters, but you know what? I need to go back and take a look, as I've already done this now. We're not going to worry about it, but we will go back and take a look. Oh, you know what? I'll just pause really quick. All right. I just paused it and went back and looked, and no, she has these even. Because in the next, or step after this one, I was like, it might be easier if they were a little closer on this other side. All right, but no worries. Okay, so same thing. This is an even longer and skinnier S. And actually, I'm finding not necessarily thinking of it as an S shape, but just that I'm coming off of this side, and I'm aiming to the opposite side of the orb in the center. And that kind of helps me keep them under control. And that looks kind of cool just as it is, wouldn't you say? All right, next step. More S shapes. And this one, you just have to play with it. So what pick a tall spoke. And so well, we're going to just do S shapes. And you can have it come off however you want. But so let me just do one. We're going to do like 3 of them. So I kind of do one and then decide, well, I want one kind of to come underneath here. Like so. And then I'll do another one up here. So as you're doing them, just decide, well, do I want to add some at the top? Do you want to have it, come off like I just did right there? And then they can all meet like so. So there's a number of ways that this can happen. Let's see, like this one I'm just going to come, because I think it looks neat having a little bit of a scoop sometimes. I don't know, just, let the tangle tell you what to do as you're inspired. Or, you let your hand do what your hand's going to do, and then we just go, well, okay then. And that's how it's going to be. Well, all right, we'll just work with it. Now, notice we're going from a tall spoke to a short spoke, and then skipping. So those are the only 2 things that we're doing. We're not doing anything in between, obviously. And I think bottom line with this part, at least for me, just don't think about it so much. All right. And that looks kind of cool just the way it is. This has many steps that look really neat. All right, next one is we're just going to draw some straight lines into this center. And so I found it easiest to just divide the space and then divide it again and divide it again. And you know what? If you wanted to add some curve or something to this, I would say do it. Have fun. But that is all we're doing. And then just coming right into that point. I found this to be easier than coming from the point and going out, because then I can place, all right, here's the middle of this space a lot easier. And then I wasn't, trying to figure out, oh, what do I do next? Because it's a little too tight in here. And then if that's the case anyway, like I said, we just deal with that. All right, last step in this is to add some rounding. So first place, right from that orb, I added quite a bit there. I didn't notice, although you could, I don't know. I'm going to leave that as that is right there. But just adding a little thickness to the tops and maybe curve it a little bit and then, bring it down. If you take a look at in the description section at my For More Inspiration link, you will, that link is to Tangle Patterns where I found this. And take a look at Jan's Step Out as well as her gorgeous work. So that way you can see, because she had a couple options, and also, for adding some extra stuff. But that way you can take a nice close look at that and see what you think. Because there was one of her samples that the thickness went down quite a ways, and it's going to be just about, well, how much room do you have in between, and then and what's your envisionment of the tangle. And that's what's so fun, is that we get to play with it how we see fit. And you can see already the rounding is just such a neat technique. And it seemed like for a while I kept finding tangles that use them, and it just reminded me, I was like, that's just something that I don't use enough. And it, like I said, it just, as you can see, it just adds something really cool. I am, as I'm doing this, I'm debating, and I'm pretty sure when I looked at hers, it was hard to see the rounding part because I couldn't tell. I could just see some red at the top, and I zoomed in as close as I could, and I need to double check on this last one. And still, it doesn't matter. It's my tangle, and I can do what I want with it. Um, but I like to see what they did just because I want to see, because I do like to replicate. That I find fun, and I know some don't, and that's cool. Because I hear Maria a lot of times, says don't necessarily don't copy what we're doing. Come up with your own thing. Well, some of us, that is our fun, is copying, or trying to replicate, and then from there it's like that's my stepping point into having fun. So now with this, some some thoughts. A lot of times when I do orbs and you're uh, like this and liking Cadent, where you're touching them a lot with the pen, then they get a little sloppy. This I didn't do too bad of a job on. But you could fill those in. You could fill them in with the ink, or you could fill them in with some graphite. I might just do that. One thing I'm going to do for some shading is just put some extra shading in this center here. And let's bring it out a little bit. It's always a great place to start, is where things kind of come to a point like this. So if you struggle with where to start shading, of course it depends on the tangle, but take a look at that. Um, there's a couple ways that one could go with this. Well, we've kind of see it almost shades itself down there. I want to do something with the top. But you know what? Let's do the top first, because here, let's just put some graphite on either side. The other thing I was thinking is to put some under here. Or let's just do this first and see what it looks like. Don't want to add too much and too many of the same places, because then you just get gray. And because I'm working on a small 2x2 bijou tile, that makes it a little bit of a challenge. But if you do this, coming from the points on both sides, and then leave some of that natural tile color, then you get the shiny look, which is so cool. And that just might be enough. You could also play with shading below here, and then it would create, um, it would pop these top parts out and make it like a ledge, so like a shadow under here. But I'm thinking, because I put the graphite there, I'm not going to worry about it, because I have the darkness with the pen, and I think that looks kind of cool. And I don't know what I want to do with those orbs. I don't know that I want to fill them in. Well, well, yes, of course. We can fill them in. Let's do this. Oh, where do I want to put the little shine? Right there. Okay, that could look. What I worry about is, because there's so much black, that where you won't necessarily see the orb, but I think we do. And it's always worth just experimenting and playing. Oh yeah. And this is a way to add the shine without having a jelly roll. Is just I do an orb inside, color around the outside, and sometimes when I remember, I'll make it bigger than I think I want it. That one I didn't. It's because I said it. Um, because then you can always fill in. It's kind of like doing the course correction fill in. I don't necessarily want this big, but I want to at least reserve the space. And then as I see what it's looking like, then I'm just, going around and reducing that. And like I said, it's a nice way. If you don't have the white jelly roll, if you do, you can still put white over because I think well, it depends on what you're working on. I mean, this is a white tile, but it's kind of a little off white. It's so it would still shine. Oh, look at how neat that all of a sudden looks as I'm looking at this screen. Who did that? Wow, that's really cool. Oh, I love it when that happens because I was thinking for a little bit. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Hmm. So, wow, gosh, I've impressed myself. How neat is that? And as I'm looking at it, let me just add one extra thing. Um, Depending on how you do this, if you get it underneath there, well, pretty well, where you see the spokes, because it's like some of it, it's like almost like a ribbon that's turned, and like here where I have, you see the gaps, so you can see. Well, at least I have two lines there that you can see. That creates kind of a neat effect. So that's something to play with as well. I like it both ways, but it's just kind of neat. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, would love to have a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with your friends. And and as I'm wrapping this up, I'm going to add some fancy fescues because it is just calling for it. Yeah. So if you liked it, if you like it enough to see more, would love to have you as a subscriber on the channel. Subscribing is, of course, to the channel is, of course, free. And again, would just love to have you. And apparently, I can't do these fancy fescues. This is just what I started calling them because they're a little different than regular fescue. Oh, now I got to do that one. And they're just fun. So, love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. Also, in the description section are ways to connect with me if you would like to. There's a link to my website, link to our beautiful Facebook group community. If you're looking for some Zentangle friends, we'd love to have you join our community. It's a nice, supportive group of people, and we have a lot of fun. Also, I do classes weekly. I do. I'm in Michigan, so I do 2 classes on Thursday, 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. And we have people from all over joining us. It's a hoot. It really is. So would love to have you join us. I do some other ones as well, some that have a fee. But like I said, I do the weekly that are that are um, that are free. We have a lot of fun. Come check me out for free. If you like it, then you can, join in on a paid class if you like the topic. And if you like it really, really a lot, I have a membership club, like a subscription plan. And I have a special that's going to be closing on, let's see, the end of May. So how many days are May 31st? At the end of May. Until then, you can become a founding member. It's $15 a month. It's like an all access thing. After that, it's going to go up, and then it'll just be regular members. So if you want to be what we're jokingly calling a card carrying Tangle addict, would love to have you join us. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.